I didn't leave in anger. I left because my heart was finally tired. I want that understood. Anger is loud. What I felt was quiet and very old. At 75, my days had learned a rhythm. Morning light through thin curtains, a kettle that whistled too long, my knees complaining before my back did. I had been a wife for 52 years, a mother for 49, a sister, an aunt, the one people called when something went wrong. I was good at showing up, even when no one noticed. My husband, God rest him, was not a cruel man, but he was a heavy one. Heavy with needs, heavy with silence, heavy with expectations that were never spoken because they never had to be. I learned early that peace in a marriage sometimes meant swallowing words. So I swallowed them, year after year. When he passed, people said, "Now you can finally rest." They were wrong, because duty doesn't die with a husband, it just changes shape. My children came with their own weather, their disappointments, their unspoken resentments, their belief that a mother's love is an endless well. I cooked, I listened, I apologized for things I didn't remember doing. Holidays were the hardest. Too many people, too much noise, too many old stories retold as jokes at my expense. I smiled anyway. That's what I was known for, being agreeable, being understanding, being available. No one ever asked me what I needed, and I never asked myself. Not until my body started answering for me. The fatigue came first, not the kind sleep fixes, the kind that sits behind your eyes. Then the forgetting, small things, names, why I walked into a room. They said it was age, but deep down I knew better. It was the weight of always being required, of never being finished. One afternoon, after everyone left, I sat alone at the kitchen table, plates stacked, my hands resting in my lap. And for the first time in my life, I thought, if I don't leave now, I never will. Not from them, from myself. And that scared me more than loneliness ever could. I didn't make a decision that day. I just noticed the truth. And sometimes, that's how everything begins. People think suffering always announces itself, that it comes with shouting or tears. Mine didn't. It arrived softly, like dust settling on furniture no one moves anymore. I began to notice how my body reacted before my mind did. My shoulders tightened when the phone rang, my stomach clenched before family visits. I reheated food instead of cooking because cooking meant conversation later. Small withdrawals, invisible to everyone but me. I loved my children. That never changed. But love, I learned too late, does not mean endurance without limits. They spoke to me like I was still useful but no longer wise, like a piece of old furniture, valuable but in the way. You don't need that much money. You don't need so much space. You don't need to decide alone anymore. They said it gently. That made it worse. Because when cruelty is gentle, you doubt yourself. You wonder if you're imagining the harm. Some nights I lay awake listening to the refrigerator hum. I counted years instead of sheep. How many years had I given to keeping peace? How many did I have left? No one prepares you for that question. Aging teaches you something brutal. Time becomes visible. I started imagining silence, not the lonely kind, but the safe kind, a place where no one expected anything from me.
One morning, my daughter called while I was brushing my hair. "Mom," she said, "we've been talking. Maybe it's time you move closer to us. We'll handle things." We'll handle things. I looked at my reflection, a woman with thinning hair and eyes that had seen enough. Something inside me shifted. Not rebellion, not rage, clarity. I realized that if I stayed, I would slowly disappear, not through death, through erosion. I would become someone they talked over, decided for, managed. And I wasn't ready to be managed. That afternoon, I sat on my bed and opened a drawer I hadn't touched in years. Inside was my old passport, expired, creased, still mine. I held it like a fragile thing. For the first time in decades, a thought formed without guilt. What if the rest of my life belonged to me? The thought frightened me. It also felt like oxygen. I didn't tell anyone, not yet. Some decisions need silence to grow.
People imagine big decisions happen in loud moments. Arguments, ultimatums, doors slamming. Mine happened on a Tuesday morning, quietly, while the kettle boiled. I was standing barefoot on the kitchen tiles, holding a chipped mug, when I realized something simple and terrifying. No one was going to give me permission. Not my children, not my siblings, not society. If I waited for approval, I would die waiting. I turned off the kettle and sat at the cable. I didn't cry, I didn't pray. I just sat there, breathing slowly, like someone learning how to swim in deep water. I thought about my marriage, about how often I swallowed words to keep harmony, about how that habit followed me into motherhood. I had confused sacrifice with virtue. No one had forced me. That was the hardest part to accept. I had trained everyone how to treat me by always saying yes. That afternoon, I walked to the small travel office near the market. The young man behind the counter spoke too fast. "Are you traveling alone, ma'am?" "Yes," I said. The word surprised both of us. He smiled politely, the way people do when they think you don't understand what you're agreeing to. I booked a modest apartment near the sea. Nothing dramatic, just quiet. When I got home, my hands shook as I folded clothes. I packed slowly, like I was afraid the walls might hear me. I left most things behind. Furniture carries memories. I didn't want to bring all of them. That evening, my son called. "We're coming by this weekend," he said. "We need to talk about your future." I closed my eyes. "I've already taken care of it," I replied. There was a pause. "What do you mean?" "I mean," I said gently, "I've chosen how I want to live." His voice tightened. My daughter later cried. They said words like selfish, confusing, unnecessary. I listened, really listened. And for the first time in my life, I didn't bend. "I love you," I told them, "but I'm not asking anymore." That night, guilt sat beside me in bed like an old companion. But beneath it, there was something new. Relief. Not joy, not freedom. Relief, the kind that comes when you finally put something heavy down. The morning I left, no one came to see me off. That hurt. But as the train pulled away, I noticed something else. My chest felt lighter than it had in years. I wasn't running away. I was walking toward myself, slowly, carefully, at 75. Peace didn't arrive all at once. It didn't knock. It didn't announce itself. It slipped in slowly, like morning light through thin curtains. The apartment by the sea was small, too small for visitors, perfect for one. The first night, the silence frightened me. Not the sharp kind, the empty kind. I lay awake listening to sounds I wasn't used to noticing anymore. The hum of the refrigerator, the distant waves, my own breathing. For years, I had lived inside other people's expectations. Without them, I felt almost unfinished. The next morning, I made tea and drank it standing by the window. No one complained it was too weak. No one asked for sugar. That's when I understood. Peace is not excitement. It is permission. Days settled into a rhythm. I walked slowly along the shore. I learned the names of shopkeepers. I ate when I was hungry, not when it was expected. Some afternoons, guilt would return uninvited. A voice would whisper, "A good mother wouldn't have left. A good woman would endure." I let the voice speak. Then I answered it softly. A good woman is allowed to live. My children called less often. When they did, our conversations were careful, like walking on thin ice. I didn't argue. I didn't defend. I simply existed, calmly, firmly. Something unexpected happened after a few months. I started laughing again. Quiet laughter, sometimes at nothing at all. I slept deeply. My shoulders stopped aching. One evening, an elderly neighbor asked me, "Are you lonely?" I thought for a moment. "No," I said. "I'm alone. There's a difference." At 75, I didn't find a new life. I reclaimed the one I had postponed. Peace didn't fix everything. It didn't heal every wound. But it gave me space. Space to breathe. Space to remember who I was before obligations swallowed me whole. If there is one thing I know now, it is this. You are never too old to choose yourself. And choosing yourself does not mean you love others less. It means you finally love yourself enough to live.